Hi there, and so it's night. Yeah, good morning, and good evening, or in good morning, good afternoon, right? Okay, so today, New York Times, the New York Times, released this article. Harris put four Sun ballots. Ballot states back in play. Times Siena polls find. Okay, so now we will we let's read this article together and so chit chat with me and so okay so now so at first let's let's hear. Let's listen to the article together. So okay.
Puts four Sunbelt states back in play. Four Sunbelt states back in play. Times Siena polls find. This article is by Shane Goldmacher and Ruth Igilnik and read by an automated voice. Vice President Kamala Harris has stormed into contention in the fast-growing and diverse states of Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina, not long after Donald J. Trump had seemed on the verge of running away with those states when President Biden was still the Democratic nominee. The new polls from the New York Times and Siena College show how quickly Ms. Harris has reshaped the terrain of 2024 and thrust the Sun Belt back to the center of the battleground state map. Ms. Harris is now leading Mr. Trump among likely voters in Arizona, 50% to 45%, and has even edged ahead of Mr. Trump in North Carolina, a state Mr. Trump won 4 years ago, while narrowing his lead significantly in Georgia and Nevada. Mr. Trump and Ms. Harris are tied at 48% across an average of the four Sun Belt states, in surveys conducted August 8 to 15. That marks a significant improvement for Democrats compared with May, when Mr. Trump led Mr. Biden 50% to 41% across Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada in the previous set of Times Siena Sun Belt polls, which did not include North Carolina. A dead heat in these four states is not great news for Donald Trump, and it represents a huge shift from earlier in the cycle, Nate Cohn writes. The new polls provide more evidence that Ms. Harris is successfully consolidating parts of the Democratic base that had been waffling over supporting Mr. Biden for months, particularly younger, non-white, and female voters. Last week, Times Siena polling showed that Ms. Harris had pulled ahead of Mr. Trump by a narrow margin in the three northern battleground states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Those states are generally considered the linchpin of any Democratic path to the White House. The Sun Belt represents an essential set of states for Mr. Trump while offering a potential second route for Ms. Harris to the 270 Electoral College votes needed to win. In the new surveys, Mr. Trump is ahead in Georgia 50% to 46%, and in Nevada, he has 48% compared to 47% for Ms. Harris. She has 49% of likely voters to Mr. Trump's 47% in North Carolina, the only one of the 7 core battleground states that he carried in 2020. The polls show some risk for Ms. Harris as she rallies Democrats to her cause, including that more registered voters view her as too liberal, 43%, than those who say Mr. Trump is too conservative, 33%. For now, she is edging ahead of him among critical independent voters. The new results come after as tumultuous a 2-month period as there has ever been in modern American politics. Democrats swapped Ms. Harris for Mr. Biden after his poor debate performance, and in between, Mr. Trump survived an assassination attempt and made a dramatic return at his party's convention. Both parties view the current period as a potential inflection point and are pouring tens of millions of dollars into advertising in the swing states to shape voter perceptions as Democrats prepare to gather next week for their party convention in Chicago. The polls show that Democratic voters are newly excited about the 2024 race now that Ms. Harris is the nominee, with 85% of her voters saying they are at least somewhat enthusiastic about voting this fall, roughly matching voters' level of enthusiasm for Mr. Trump. And large majorities of Democratic and Republican registered voters are now satisfied with their choice of candidates. That is a marked change from May, when Republicans were much more satisfied than Democrats. Alina Schmant, 78, a Democrat and a retired scientist in Wilmington, North Carolina, was excited about the possibility of voting for the first female president. Kamala is extremely well prepared to be an excellent president, she said. As for Mr. Biden, she would have voted for him mostly because of her disgust for Mr. Trump. He was not my first choice, she said of Mr. Biden. He wasn't even my second or third or fourth choice. The race is increasingly polarized along racial lines. Ms. Harris, who would be the first black woman to serve as president, had the support of 84% of black voters in the polls, which is higher than Mr. Biden's support before his exit. Her backing among Latino voters was at 54%. She also opened up a significant gender gap, taking a 14 percentage point lead over Mr. Trump among women in Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada. That group had been evenly split between Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump in those three states in May. Overall, Ms. Harris leads non-white voters in Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada by 29 percentage points. Mr. Biden had led those voters in the same states by 17 percentage points in May. Mr. Trump, in turn, is maximizing his support among white voters without a college degree, winning 66% support from them across the 4 Sun Belt states. One of the bigger questions for Ms. Harris is how long what the Trump team has called her honeymoon period will last. She has sparked memes, become a social media phenomenon, and drawn larger crowds on her first trip across the swing states last week than Mr. Biden ever drew. One indicator of her online traction came from largely younger voters who said they used TikTok. Ms. Harris held a 13-point advantage among TikTok users in Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada, compared with Mr. Biden's 3-point edge among the same group in those states in May. Voters overall gave Ms. Harris a 48% favorable rating, the same as her unfavorable rating. No previous Time Siena survey in these states tested her favorability, but an even rating is a huge leap. In one national survey in February, voters viewed her more unfavorably by a 19 percentage point margin. Mr. Trump scored an identical 48% favorable rating, largely unchanged since May. Follow the latest polls and see updated polling averages of the Harris versus Trump matchup. The relative goodwill from the electorate for both candidates is a significant change from earlier in the year, when many frustrated voters described a Trump-Biden rematch with a mixture of disgust and disinterest. I was pretty nervous before, said Freya Brandel-Tanis, a 28-year-old urban planner in Atlanta who described herself as a leftist. But since Ms. Harris' ascent, she said, I think that the enthusiasm is definitely there. Still, there are already some warning signs of Ms. Harris' potential vulnerabilities. More voters said she flip-flops on issues that matter than said the same about Mr. Trump. The divide is particularly pronounced among Hispanic voters, who were 12 percentage points more likely to say Ms. Harris changes her positions on important issues than to say the same about Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump also continues to hold the political advantage on 2 issues, the economy and immigration, that voters ranked as among the most important facing the nation. But Ms. Harris and Mr. Trump are close to tied on the key question of which candidate would better handle whatever issue voters see as the most important to them. One reason is that while Mr. Trump is still favored on the economy over Ms. Harris across the Sun Belt states, his advantage is smaller on that topic than it was over Mr. Biden in May. At the same time, Ms. Harris has widened the Democratic edge over Mr. Trump on abortion. On the issue of immigration, Mr. Trump is more trusted by 53% of voters, compared with 43% for Ms. Harris. Still, for an issue that has been a defining part of Mr. Trump's image since 2015, that advantage represents a relatively small edge. The state of the race in the 4 Sun Belt states was unchanged when third-party candidates were included. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. won just 4% of likely voters, the largest of any third-party candidate in the polls, but it is half the level of support he received in Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia just 3 months ago. As the Harris and Trump campaigns rush to define each other in the remade race, voters see a choice between strength and compassion. Voters were about equally likely to see each candidate as qualified and change makers, but significantly more voters viewed Mr. Trump as a strong leader. Ms. Harris is seen by more voters than Mr. Biden was as an agent of change, but overall, voters still see Mr. Trump as the candidate who will shake things up. When voters were asked who cares about people like me, Ms. Harris had a slight edge over Mr. Trump. 52% compared to 48%. Though about half of Hispanic voters said Mr. Trump cares about people like them, even more said the same about Ms. Harris. Sergio Villavicencio, a 40-year-old Marine veteran who lives in Buckeye, Aries, said he voted for Mr. Trump in 2016 and then switched to Mr. Biden in 2020. He is planning to support Ms. Harris now, partly because he said, Ms. Harris seems more concerned about his issues. If that person's supposed to be representing all of us, and he's picking and choosing who he's representing, billionaires and Elon Musk and all these kinds of corporations, like, he's not speaking for the people, Mr. Villavicencio said of Mr. Trump. He's not talking to the people. He doesn't give a damn about the people. The brightening of the landscape for Democrats also applies lower down the ballot, where Senate races were polling stronger for the party than in May. In Arizona, Ruben Gallego, the Democratic congressman, leads Kari Lake, the firebrand pro-Trump Republican and former television anchor, 51% to 42%, among likely voters in the state's open Senate race. In Nevada, Senator Jackie Rosen, a Democrat, is ahead of her Republican challenger Sam Brown, 49% to 40%. And in North Carolina, the state's Democratic Attorney General Josh Stein leads Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, a Republican, 49% to 39%, in the year's marquee governor's race. Camille Baker contributed reporting. Additional contributions by Christine Zhang. Here are the key things to know about these Times Siena polls. Interviewers spoke with 677 registered voters in Arizona from August 8 to 15, 661 registered voters in Georgia, and 655 registered voters in North Carolina from August 9 to 14, and 677 registered voters in Nevada from August 12 to 15. Times Siena polls are conducted by telephone using live interviewers in both English and Spanish. More than 95% of respondents were contacted on a cell phone for these polls. You can see the exact questions that were asked and the order in which they were asked here. Voters are selected for Times Siena surveys from a list of registered voters. The list contains information on the demographic characteristics of every registered voter, allowing us to make sure we reach the right number of voters of each party, race, and region. For these polls, interviewers placed more than 276,000 calls to nearly 183,000 voters. To further ensure that the results reflect the entire voting population, not just those willing to take a poll, we give more weight to respondents from demographic groups that are underrepresented among survey respondents, like people without a college degree. You can see more information about the characteristics of respondents and the weighted sample at the bottom of the results and methodology page under Composition of the Sample. The margin of sampling error among registered voters is plus or minus 2.1 percentage points across the 4 states, plus or minus 4.1 percentage points in Arizona and Georgia, and plus or minus 4.2 percentage points in Nevada and North Carolina. In theory, this means that the results should reflect the views of the overall population most of the time, though many other challenges create additional sources of error. When computing the difference between two values, such as a candidate's lead in a race, the margin of error is twice as large. You can see full results and a detailed methodology here. If you want to read more about how and why we conduct our polls, you can see answers to frequently asked questions and submit your own questions here.
Okay, thank you for hearing the article. Okay, so see the chats, right? Together. So okay, so anyway, first, okay, okay. So Harris put for some ballot states back in play. Times Siena polls find. Kamala Harris in the races across Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina. Okay, so 4 states. I mean, these are Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and then North Carolina, the swing states, and crucial swing states. Okay, so and that Mr. Trump had seemed to to route to play with there just a few weeks ago. Okay, so the polls, the result. Let's see the polls result. The conduct it's conducted by the Times Siena College poll, August 8 to 15, right? If the question, if that 2024 presidential election were held today, okay, not so or November, today, right? So if the 2024 presidential election were held today, who would you vote for if the candidates were Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? Let's see. Okay, Arizona. So Trump 45%, right? It's, 50%. Okay, so okay, so five. It means 5% read 5 points. 5 points reading by yeah, Harris reading just 5%, right? Next swing state, North Carolina. So Donald Trump got 7% and slightly there is a slight gap. So there is a slight gap. So only 2%, right? So 47 versus 49, and next Nevada. Kamala Harris behind the Trump, only 1%, right? 47%, okay, Kamala Harris, and 48% uh, from got significant the Georgia. So like Arizona, the Trump reads for 5%. So the relatively large gap here as well. The Georgia states of Georgia. So 46%. Arizona. So Trump and so won Arizona, right? This polls, but okay, let's see. Georgia. So Trump will Donald Trump is leading Kamala Harris, you know, points versus 46 points, right? Okay, so and the margins for the Arizona neighborhoods were plus or minus 44.4 pass points. For Carolina, it is plus or minus 4.2 points by blah blah blah. So and okay, so important thing they okay, so let's see another chat. How the Times Siena polls compare Times Siena likely voters. So uh, August 8th to 15. Arizona now Harris plus. Okay, so it's summarizing of the earlier question. Odds, right? Arizona, so Harris plus 5 point. North Carolina, Harris uh, Harris, the plus 2 points. Nevada, Trump plus 2 points. And Georgia, Georgia. So Trump is leading 4 points. Okay. So in the next times Siena registered voters August 8th to 15th. Harris likely voters, not likely voters, so registered voters. Okay, so Harris 4.3, then North Carolina, Harris 4 points, and so Reed and reading, and so Nevada, so as same as likely voters, and so Trump is getting point. It read, and so please look at this. Uh, State. So Trump has a big lead, huge lead, or lead. So here, so 7 points. Okay, I think it's important thing, important number of the here. So okay, so polling average. Okay, as of the as of 5th a.m. a.m. Okay, okay. The time as of 5 a.m. August 17 polling average. So Trump um Trump is less than 1 point. 1 point less than 1 point. So in Arizona states and so Georgia, Georgia states, Georgia state of Georgia, the Trump is reading the point read it, and also on a Cook political report, Venetian strategy group, GS strategy group, likely voters, July 6, 26 to August 2. At this and Arizona and Harris 2 points is leading by 2 points, and Harris North Carolina Harris is reading 1.3, and so Nevada, so Trump is leading by 3 points, and Georgia even let's be Trump. Okay, so look at this. Next competitiveness coalition, public opinion strategies. So likely voters, July 23 and 23rd or 29th. So Trump is in Arizona states, and Harris is reading 2 points, and North Carolina Harris is reading only 1%, and Nevada Trump is reading 3 points here, Nevada. So Georgia, so the results is even, right? So next, competitiveness coalition public opinion strategies. Agree voters July 23rd. Okay, okay. Sorry. Um, Trump is reading 5 points. So North Carolina, no poll, and so uh, Trump is reading 1 point, and Georgia is reading. No. So here has no poll, and last one, and here Emerson College. the Hill Emerson College. Also, the registered voters, July 22 to 22nd and 23rd. Trump is leading in Arizona, is leading by leading 5 points, and North Carolina no poll, and so Nevada no poll, and so Georgia Trump is leading just 2 points. Okay, so in my opinion, so look at these polls and Siena, so registered voters and likely voters and and polling average and survey. Okay, so in my opinion, okay, so look at this. Look at these charts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And versus Trump is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so overall, it's my simple opinion. So Trump is not weak, I think, and so overall this chart in this chart, so Trump is leading uh, by picking this seeing these charts. I think so, and yeah. Okay, notes margins using an unbounded both shares when available. The times following available average is of as of 5 a.m. Eastern on August 17th, and there have not yet been enough polls to publish averages in North Carolina and Nevada. Okay, so and by Barbara. Okay, so let's see together. So and so next. Okay, what questions were asked? Who answered? New York Times and Siena College Board has earned a reputation for accuracy and the transparency. Our pollsters and editors are committed to explaining our methods and answering common questions. Common question. Okay. Important thing is common question. So read our Q&A and explore the full here. So please look at after this video. After you after after this after finish this so you can click this here and New York Times website, right? So and okay, so and next point is okay. So look at this. The New York Times Senate card polls Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, and the percentage of the registered voters who said these traits described each candidate very well or somewhat well. Very well or somewhat well, right? So, and okay, Harris is blue and Trump is red, right? So can unify the country. The Harris is leading uh, 46 versus 42. And care about people like you. Like you? So, okay, care about people like you. Like you. So you're so it means you are dealing people or you're treating people like you. I mean, so it means cares about people like you. So the Harris is reading 50.52 48. Okay, flip flops on issues that matter. Flip flops on issues that matter. So in this question, so the Kamala Harris is reading 5% or yeah. for the 54 points versus 49 from, right? So and he is a strong reader. Okay, so look at this. Is a strong reader. So very very big. Okay, here is very big, and it's important to become the president in the United States. I think so. I think it's important. Most important thing is here the strong reader. Do you know? So the strong reader. So Trump is very very so much reading, so much so very big reading here. So 58 per point and 50, right? But I think the most important question is here. There is a strong reader, strong America. So strong America and strong United States and make America great again, so he said. So, and the strong reader, the perspective of the strong reader in the United States, right? So here, so on a very huge advantage, Donald Trump has a huge advantage here. Is a strong reader, 58%. And now, next is qualified. Okay, so almost same here. 55% and versus 54. Okay, next question will bring about the right kind change, right? So bring about the right kind of change. So even, right? 50 versus 50, right? So based on New York Times Siena College polls of 77 voters in Arizona conducted from August 8 to 15th. 61 voters in Georgia conducted from August 9 to 14. So, 655 voters in North Carolina conducted from August 9th to 14th, and so 77 voters in Nevada conducted from August 12 to 15th. Barari, Boys and Dundee Park, right? Okay, okay. So here, so my opinion. So in my opinion, so it's okay. So the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. 6 elements here. 6 elements here. So can you unify the country or get about the like people like you and the flip flops on issue that matter on I think it's most important thing element is here. The strong leader here. So and it's qualified or the will bring back when sorry will about the bring about the right kind of change. So even so change or strong so point strong leader and bring about the right kind of change, right? Okay, so I think that Trump is not bad. So I think so. And, so okay, so and, Trump is reading thing this chat. So the Trump is reading our position here, 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 here. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 11 versus 6. Okay, so I mean, Trump is not bad. So even if this polls conducted by the so it's no matter what, no matter how. So I think so, and not Americans, Japanese, and so it's not the fair question about the Siena College or so the Times poll, the New York Times and the Siena College polls is accurate. So I don't know, but I think that it's not bad result. I think and it's reading uh, elements here. Okay, so that is what I would like to say. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this video. And so I would like to the so about the United States coming election. It means coming election November 5, right? 5th. So the uh, 80 days to the war, the election. So I think it's almost the most important election in the world, I think. And yes, today that's it. So see you soon. See you soon. Uh, so please subscribe me and so please like button. So please subscribe my channel. So okay, and so today I I show you I I showed you Harris puts for Harris versus Trump's Times Senate report results. Thank you for watching. Okay, please subscribe and so see you next time. So see you next time and so see you soon. See you.